All right, thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigeria newspapers. And I begin with the Leadership newspaper. And the major story here says, subsidy removal, labor marketers fret over rumored 720 naira fuel pump price. And some riders will shut down Nigeria, union warns. Fix refineries, scrap VAT on diesel, marketers tell federal government. Right, you find all the details on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. We move now to the front page of the Nigeria News Direct. Subsidy removal, nationwide shutdown looms. A price hike projection besets Nigerians. Subsidy removal, nationwide shutdown looms as price hike projection besets Nigerians. All the details on the front page of the Nigeria News Direct. To the front page of the Daily Times. NLC warns of indefinite nationwide strike if petrol price rises again. NLC warns of indefinite nationwide strike if petrol price rises again. Details on the front page of the Daily Times. And to the First News newspaper, fuel hike, Labour threatens fresh strike, vows to shut down country if petrol price rises again, says we won't give any notice before going on strike. These are the details you'll find on the front page of the First News newspaper. Mike.
All right, I have this Nigeria here, and it says we'll shut down economy without notice if PMS price rises again. NLC warns the federal government on this. That's what you see on the front page of this Nigeria. And from there, let's go to the Guardian newspaper. Tinubu's reforms face stress tests amid labor threats and the Forex scarcity. That's what you see on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Tinubu's reforms face stress tests and labor threats, Forex scarcity. Okay, and from there, let's go to the Blueprint. The Blueprint newspaper is said amid fresh NLC threat, Tinubu raises concerns over 941 naira to a dollar exchange rate. Amid fresh NLC threats, Tinubu raises concerns over 945 naira to a dollar exchange rate. Okay, that's what you see on the Blueprint. The Punch newspaper is next, and it says naira slump. CBN clamps down on speculators, restricts diaspora remittances. Right, talking about the naira slump there. CBN clamps down on speculators, restricts diaspora remittances. Okay, acting CBN governor meets Tinubu and predicts heavy losses for Forex speculators. Okay, all that you see on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Recall that the naira has been very volatile, and the last month has seen much of that volatility show itself in various dimensions. And from there, let's go to the Nation newspaper. Forex crisis is the focus here, and it says CBN likely to flood market with dollar, right? CBN likely to flood the market with dollar. That's what the Nation newspaper has. And from there, let's go to Business Day. Business Day says MasterCard forges fintech foothold with MTN stake. Okay, that's what Business Day has. Daily Independent. Telco's revenue to swell as more workers work from home. Okay, I'm talking about Daily Independent now. Daily Independent says Telco's revenue to swell as more workers work from home. Okay, that's what Daily Independent has. Daily Trust is next. Daily Trust says bandits kill many soldiers in Niger. Pilot dies as Nigeria Air Force helicopter crashes. Military mom on an attack on personnel. A senator urges deployment of operatives to troubled communities, and cleric wife children abducted in Kaduna. Really troubling headlines there from the Daily Trust. And that's what you see there. Veronica?
All right, Mike, let's look at this story that is on almost all the front pages of the papers this morning, talking about how the Nigeria Labour Congress is looking at having a showdown, that's a nationwide strike, if there is an increase in pump price of petrol. Recall that there's been speculation by marketers saying that if the naira continues to, rise as it's against the dollar, right now we are looking at 945 naira, like you mentioned, to a dollar, that if there is a continuous increase, that they would have no choice but to increase the price of petrol. And they suggested a particular amount, I think between 700 naira to 1,000 or so. And the NLC has come up to say that they wouldn't take that, and that it's even illegal as it is, that if something is not done, they do not want to hear that there is an increase in the pump price of petrol, because Nigerians are already groaning under the increment that we have seen consistently in the past months. Right now, it's within the range of over 500 naira, and in some areas, they're already buying at 700 naira. And another increase would just, people do not even want to think of what it is going to be. And NLC is already speaking, saying that they wouldn't even give a notice to the government. They would just begin the showdown.
Well, there's a very wide web of socioeconomic activity that is affecting and impacting this whole issue. Now, if you watch the international price of crude oil, of course, it's volatile, but it is not as volatile as we are responding and reacting here in the country. Good. So, if you flip the coin, you see that, of course, we know that the crude oil or oil, as the case may be, is an international commodity. The price is fixed on the dollar, not in naira, and we know. Fine. So, because it is like that, and we have shortage of the dollar, it now gives that platform to speculators who want to control the business, who want to make profit from the business. And as they speculate, it begins to impact the cost of the naira, or the price of the naira when it comes to the exchange rate. Good. So the moment the exchange rate becomes that volatile because of speculation, then that speculation will also have its impact on the crude oil that is brought in. Even the one that is already brought in, that is there in the reserve, the speculation will begin to impact it because it remains an international commodity that is priced in a dollar. So that is why if you listen to the language of the acting CBN governor, he was saying that speculators are in for trouble. Very soon, the action that the CBN is going to take will surprise speculators because they know where the thing is coming from. Right? Good. Now, they're talking of flooding the market with the dollar. How that is going to remedy the situation, we don't know yet, because the point there is that you could flood the market and these speculators suck it up. And if they suck it up,
they are in for business.
And they hoard the dollars that the CBN is flooding in, then it becomes the same issue, even after CBN does that. So the point there is that the banks, that's why a lot of people are looking at the banks, because if the banks are disciplined enough and they are supposed to be able to have adequate dollars to trade in, and the banks are in charge of the dollar market, then the speculators will not have what to speculate with, as the case may be. These are just ideal theoretical scenarios that you want to look at. In practical terms, it could be different. So all of this thing is impacting on the pump price of fuel. Now, if you look at the Ipman and Momas, it was on the Moman rather. It was on the news, on some news reports yesterday. They were saying that the price of pump price could go up. Good. So, but in reaction, NNPC, in fact, they posted a message on their verified Twitter handle saying that, dear esteemed customers, we at NNPC Retail value your patronage, and we do not have the intention to increase our PMS pump price as widely speculated. Please buy the best quality products at the most whatever at their whatever.
Little wonder there was a long queue.
So it tells you, very good.
NMPC
So the point there is that it tells you that that message indicated that there was actually a plan to increase the pump price. But they're only saying, well, it's not from us.
Yes.
Right? Good. So the issue there is that it boils down back to how government is engaging with NLC and all of, because there are oil marketers and oil whatever that are also members of the NLC. So they should have a better understanding of what all of these things are.
So shouldn't the NLC be looking at these marketers to engage them? Because this is the same conversation that we have been having every time NLC comes out to say that they are going on a showdown and they are waiting for government's palliatives to cushion the effect of the fuel subsidy removal. And, you know, the conversation has been, you have these persons under the Labour Congress. Why are you not engaging them to see how they can, on their own, speak to their minds, speak to their conscience, to understand that Nigerians are already groaning. They have tightened their belt to the last limit. What is it that can be done? Then you can engage government with whatever information you get from these people to know how government can come in. Yes, because these people cannot handle it alone. Government too has to step in. It's like having a tripartite conversation with the government and these various bodies that are saying we are increasing because of this. Now they are asking, the marketers are asking for the removal of VAT from diesel. And they're asking government to do that. Now, can Labour take that up and engage government on that to see what can be done for them, to make, you know, some leeway for them to make business easy for them so that they can also look at reducing the prices for Nigerians?
Well, it may not necessarily be as easy and as straightforward
I
as
agree.
that. But however, I want to believe that NLC totally understands what the system is.
Do they?
They do. Of course, they are the economists, they are economists, they are people within the economy, and they have all their unions in all the facets of endeavor. So they have a good understanding. However, the point there is that what we are saying is the capacity to engage with government at the right time and with the right issues. And if Ipman and Moman are saying we might increase whatever they want to increase soon, then on one hand, the engagement, like you said, how are they engaging each other to say, okay, let us not do this now due to this and due to that. On the other hand, it's possible that there are some other shady dealings under the table that we may not see. So when an NLC comes up sometimes, it is to send signals to some persons or to put pressure on government to act in certain ways. All of these
But if
things
you don't make it clear to government, how do they know where to act? And
when those messages are sent,
yes,
sometimes you send them to the quarters they know. Those who are involved, they know what that message means.
Right.
Sometimes it may not come directly at you. It will be the issue of, okay, we're shutting down the country, but those who are involved, they understand the message. They know where it's coming from and they know where it's going. However, in all of this, the average person on the street is the one we protect. Is the one the government wants to protect. Is the one NSC wants to protect. Is the one we are giving voice giving voice for them to voice out whatever their mind is and giving them platform. So in all, by the time the average person is okay, then how much more the elites? How much more the people who are up there? So the issue there is that we want to see how the most vulnerable at least are protected from any of these shocks as a case, because when they are that vulnerable, it impacts the entire part of our country. So in all, we know that the government is doing all it can. Of course, they've had an engagement with NLC. They talk about the Port Harcourt refinery coming up, beginning operations
compressed natural gas as well.
There's a talk about Dangote refinery coming upstream, even though he's delayed, yeah. But then there's also the issue of the BUA refinery being built in Akwa Ibom State. So if in all of these milestones or in all of these projections, as the case may be, it is the issue of engaging so that we know that because subsidy has been removed. Time is of
essence in all of this engagement.
Of course, that's there.
Yes.
But because the removal of subsidy, there will certainly be shocks. And these are the shocks that Nigerians are facing. The only thing there is that whatever palliative or whatever other measure that the government needs to put in place, they have to do it fast enough so that the average Nigerian at least has something to keep him going before he begins to reap the benefit of the removal of subsidy. That's what all of this thing is. So let there be more engagement. Let there be more communication. Anyway, we don't have ministers yet. So maybe,
we are waiting for them to get the portfolio. You refuse to collect the portfolio. You see now.
That list was long. My name wasn't there. My name was struggling to enter. He didn't enter. You know, but it's all right. We hope that in the coming days there will be understanding. Nobody wants strike, and nobody also wants the hardship that Nigerians are facing. Let there be progress, and that is what everybody looks forward to.
Absolutely, because the impact of a strike economically is there on the one hand. Right now, the country cannot handle that. But we'll leave the